Welcome back. We are continuing the chapter today called Of Gains and Losses, Attendant Gains and Losses, and Doubts, and also of the Different Kinds of Courtesans. So, I've read this chapter before, or this part of this chapter before. This was the last of 4 videos that I made the other day, and I went to upload all 4 videos into YouTube. It said it went through, and I couldn't find them. They just were not listed. I don't know why. I had already deleted them from my camera and the computer. So this video and the 3 previously, I've mentioned this in every one of them. I've read it before, and I just felt like to pretend that I hadn't would be unfair, because I've literally said that we're reading this Kama Sutra together for the first time here, that I know nothing about what I'm reading. So in the next place, we come to doubts, which are again of 3 kinds. Doubts about wealth, doubts about religious merit, and doubts about pleasures. The following are examples. When a courtesan is not certain how much a man may give her or spend upon her, this is called a doubt about wealth. When a courtesan feels doubtful whether she is right in entirely abandoning a lover from whom she is unable to get money, she having taken all his wealth from him in the first instance, this doubt is called a doubt about religious merit. When a courtesan is unable to get a hold of a lover to her liking, and is uncertain whether she will derive any pleasure from a person surrounded by his family, or from a low person, this is called a doubt about pleasure. When a courtesan is uncertain whether some powerful but low-principled fellow would cause loss to her on account of her not being civil to him, this is called a doubt about the loss of wealth. When a courtesan feels doubtful whether she would lose religious merit by abandoning a man who is attached to her without giving him the slightest favor, and thereby causing him unhappiness in this world and the next, this doubt is called a doubt about the loss of religious merit. When a courtesan is uncertain as to whether she might create dissatisfaction by speaking out and revealing her love, and thus not get her desire satisfied, this is called a doubt about the loss of pleasure. Thus ends 3 marks on doubts. Mixed doubts. The intercourse or connection with a stranger whose disposition is unknown, and who may have been introduced by a lover or by one who possessed authority, may be productive either of gain or loss, and therefore this is called a mixed doubt about the gain and loss of wealth. When a courtesan is requested by a friend, or is impelled by pity to have intercourse with a learned Brahmin, a religious student, a sacrificer, a devotee, or an ascetic, who may have fallen in love with her, and who may be consequently at the point of death, by doing this she might either gain or lose religious merit, and therefore this is called a mixed doubt about the gain and loss of religious merit. If a courtesan relies solely upon the report of other people, that being hearsay, about a man, and goes to him without ascertaining herself whether he possesses good qualities or not, she may either gain or lose pleasure in proportion as he may be good or bad, and therefore this is called a mixed doubt about the gain and loss of pleasure. And we will pause here.